this particular fire, first of all, it burned. It was large in its scope. It was really intense because the wind gusts were extremely intense the last few days, really hard to control. But what makes it probably more special than the previous ones was that it really came closer to Athens, to the outskirts of the metropolitan area of Athens, more than I think anything in the past few decades that I can remember. We used to have fires also in the outskirts of Athens, but this one really, I mean, burnt down about 100 houses. This is very unusual. We had a heat wave in June, pretty long one. And then in July, we had a really long heat wave in Athens we had for 16 or 17 days temperatures that were every day above 37 degrees, and many days went above 40 degrees. So more than half the month, the conditions were really unbearable and very, very hot. So all of the plants and all of the trees and all of the bush and brush and all of these things that are parks and our hills and our forests all around were particularly depleted from humidity, and the soil was extremely dry. When I was a kid, I remember the mountains were the sides of the mountains facing the capital were green. And in the last, like maybe starting in the 1990s, 1980s, 1990s, the people started moving away from the center, as so many cities, like people were really kind of annoyed by the traffic and the pollution and, whatever of the center of the city. And instead of like making the city better, they started the urban sprawl and created their kind of homes, which came with there was an economic boom at the time, and they made like their beautiful homes up onto the sides of the hills. And the reason I'm saying this is because this is not unique to Athens. Like tons of cities have done the same. So they've actually kind of taken a big part of forests away and created houses in areas that we used to have trees. We have created cities that might not be exactly in the right place and in the right type, and we keep dealing with the consequences, and the consequences are going to be like mistakes are not going to be so forgiving anymore. So in the winter, when we know that we're going to be facing, when we know that we don't have any water, when we know that we are facing extraordinary conditions of high temperatures for long periods of time, then I think that it has to be we have to declare an emergency for the forests, and we have to really go in and try to manage them.